And now, welcome to the Poleros podcast with Jose, Alex, and Juli. All right, welcome. We are here. We are live. How's everybody feeling? I just stopped it. I didn't
just fucking killed the shit out of it. I'm done with it.
You're like, get to the point.
I thought I clicked the fade, but it didn't work out, man. We still working on some kinks out. Welcome to the Poleros podcast. It's another episode where we're still shocked that we're not canceled by anybody. How you doing? How's everybody feeling?
We have to be somebody to be canceled, boys.
Yeah, that is true.
Is everybody safe?
I'm trying to be. This is my best hurricane.
I am in danger.
Oh,
Why?
Because I am at my girlfriend's house and she lives right near the water. And
good
get
choice.
my car floods, whatever. Fuck it.
The things we
Like,
do
a
for
true
love.
Miami. I'll go into the into a insurance scam, get a new
The
car.
things we do for love.
The things we do for love, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, are you guys really scared about the hurricane? I know that this is something that that is like, it hasn't hit, right? I mean, I've been living here for about 14 years, and like every time there's a hurricane calling, like it misses.
No, it hasn't been scary since like I don't even know. 16.
I think as long as you're prepared, I think, and you listen to like if you need to evacuate, you do just evacuate. Don't be a dumbass. Be safe.
Wait.
Oh, got mine here too. I mean, this is our virtual backgrounds here, being Jose.
Shh. Listen to. Oh, that's the best sound in the world. Best sound in the world, right there.
By the way, that is the key essential thing to shop for during this hurricane is some drinks, to make sure that once you're stuck home with no power, you at least have something to sip on. So make sure you grab a pola somewhere there with us.
And stay safe out there, guys.
Stay safe.
Have you seen those videos sometimes that from like Tampa? They're getting wrecked up there, guys. It's like
prayers to Tampa.
And they're not even Alex.
Send your prayers, man.
I've already got my Instagram post ready to go, so they're safe.
And the worst part, it hasn't even started yet.
When does it get here?
It lands. No. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? No.
Oh no, tonight. Tonight. Like,
it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. I forgot.
Yeah.
If you're in the path of the hurricane, thankfully, I don't think we are we?
No.
Holy, it's kind of.
The thing is that
we're prepared, Holy.
No. The thing is that like once, like it's serious when they take the hot girl off the weather. Like that's when it gets serious.
When they got a guy
there's no hot girl, there's no hot weather girl on there. I'm not watching the weather channel. That's all. I'm not in tune, bro.
What kind of weather show are you watching, bro?
No, bro, you haven't seen the weather girl? With all respect to my when she turns around, it's like, I'm gonna look her up.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain that falls down.
Yeah, and the
just
second they
be
take
a
her
regular
off,
person, bro. Watch the weather channel. Bunch of nerds is telling you what's happening.
No. I got the Poleros for that. You guys can keep me updated.
All right.
The second they took it out, I was done.
As long as we have power, right? I'm glad everybody stays safe. I hope your families also stay safe, man. And everybody out there who's listening from, which I'm sure they're not, from other places in Florida, stay safe. Guys, also was also starting tomorrow, other than the hurricane, is the next phase. Well, other than that too, but hopefully not. But the next phase of the World Cup qualifiers, we've been, if you're betting, you're panicking. But I mean, I'm not betting. I'm not betting on these World Cup qualifiers. I refuse.
I don't believe you.
Refuse to. All right, maybe just one. A little small parlay. Maybe. I mean, there's no way France loses to Israel, right? I don't care how many kids have been
16-leg parlay. If $10 can turn into $15,000, you never know.
Why not? I did a couple for $1 the other day. I mean, it's great to dream that you're going to win $64,000, and then one player. It's funny. Last week I did one, and the first leg hit, And I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then like within like 10 minutes, it was already over. Like I was like, all right, 64K gone. I was already making plans. I was like, I'm going to pay my student debts. I'm going to pay this. I'm going to pay that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you bet, bro.
Yeah. That's what happens when you bet and you start singing.
Waste your money on beer. Trust me, it's a better investment.
I mean, what's $1, Juli? I mean, Jesus Christ. You never.
$1.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something.
Beer is like $2 something. Betting is cheaper.
Agreed.
You don't hate yourself after drinking a beer. You hate yourself.
You hate yourself after the hangover.
If you have one.
You hate yourself both ways, bro.
No.
You lose money, you hate yourself. You wake up hungover.
No, I embrace it, dude. It's part of who I am. I love it. I love feeling bad after having like a good night.
You
drink.
hate yourself.
I love it. I love it. I'm like, I have to do this again so I can feel this bad the next week.
How would you feel if I came and said to you, Juli, that $1 bet hit, I won 65K? Other than happy, because I know you're gonna be like, I'm gonna be happy for you, bro. No. Like,
I'm not gonna be happy.
I'll be like, why the fuck didn't you tell me the fucking parlay, bro?
I would have been like, why the fuck didn't you tell me to bet with you, dickhead?
Because you don't like to bet.
I don't. Because I've yet to meet the person that got rich doing that. I'm sure they exist, but they don't. But they don't hang out with Juli.
It's not us.
It's not us.
Yeah, it's definitely not us. I'm gonna be watching the movie Casino to like inspire myself to make the right bets for sports this week.
Alex is becoming the guy from Hangover. What's his name?
From Alan.
It's tough, man. It's tough. I was literally 4 points away on Monday Night Football from winning $500, man. It was gonna be a glorious night, and instead I cried myself to sleep butt naked. I mean, it was really, really bad. It was a rough night.
Why butt naked?
I don't know. I just felt like that was a punishment.
For who?
To who?
Your mattress?
Yeah, definitely. And the little hole that I created in there, for sure. Let's get to the World Cup qualifiers. We've got a couple of games here over here. Jose, have you pulled up the matches that we got slated for you?
Sir,
I mean, let's talk.
Got it.
All right, perfect. So we'll get that up for the people who are watching on YouTube. For everybody else, stick along to my nonsense. This is like when you go to school and you do one of those reports and you just keep adding sentences that sound the same just to waste time and make it seem like you actually did the report. This is exactly what I'm doing. But anyways, one of the games that I want to talk about first is tomorrow's game is the main event because it's the only game on Thursday, I believe. It's going to be Bolivia versus there's a couple, right? Tomorrow?
All of them. They all play tomorrow.
No. Peru plays Uruguay on Friday. Oh, Jose just went away.
And that's the only one.
Oh, shoot. So everybody plays on Thursday
except for Peru and Uruguay.
So how did Jose go from looking for the games and then kicking himself out?
This is what happens when you don't pay your bills.
Jesus Christ. Or maybe the hurricane hit him. Prayers to Jose.
Prayers?
Send prayers to Jose. Oh, he's back. He's back.
He's back.
I was glad that Alex started to talk about Peru, bro.
That's my worst thing. So while he gets that pulled up, so everybody plays tomorrow except Peru and Uruguay. All right, cool. Yeah. So, all the games are slated for tomorrow. So, which one do you guys want to talk about first? You guys want to go? I love the Betty and the.
Let's go in order. Let's go on the background. Yeah,
I love it.
Marcela right there. Love of my life right now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Marce.
Yeah. Love Betty la Fea.
Tengo 6 semestres.
En la San Marino, Marce.
Oh my god. All right. So we got the we got the clips. All right, let's pull it up here. So we have Bolivia, Colombia is obviously the first one that shows up. So let's just talk about it. Let's get it out the way.
Colombia, you better fucking win, you piece of shit.
My first question is: are you in incognito right now, Jose? Your stream. What were you doing before the stream?
Incognito.
Nasty little man.
Look at that history. Look at that history.
It's not incognito, you fucking dirty perv. This is my work fucking laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Incognito. Bastard. Working with kids in incognito mode. That's terrible.
Exactly. You cochino.
So we got Bolivia, Colombia. Guys, I don't know if you just heard this breaking news as of right now.
Okay.
Colombia's head coach, Nestor has gone out there to say that he has evidence that the Bolivia head coach has actually been spying on Colombia's practices. This literally has broke literally right before we came on the air. That news had broke that the Colombian head coach has said that the Bolivian head coach has basically kind of like did some spying. How do you guys feel about that heading into tomorrow's game? Because I mean, it's already a disadvantage playing against Bolivia in La Paz, and now it's like Bolivia's trying to get like the upper hand on
That's
Colombia's national
crazy.
team. Yeah,
What the?
Well, I didn't know about that the spy thing.
yeah,
Uh, it did happen in the Olympics, I believe, with the women's.
yeah.
Um, I think if it's true, and I'll have to check it out. But if it's true, and he did actually try to like spy, all right there, Colombia head coach accuses Bolivia. Okay, but see, these are just accusations. If there's proof, they can lose the 3 points and they can give them right over. I mean, they won't give them to Colombia, but they'll lose automatically 3 points.
Yeah, so Coach Lorenzo has said it's unfortunate to be spied upon. I don't know where it came from or who it was, but we have pictures and will file a complaint.
Oh,
So that's huge. And then the rest of the quote was saying, obviously one would like to train with the discretion and privacy that's deserved. What happened broke the privacy of that group, but we have the person photographed, and we'll see what happens in the next few hours. So this is a developing situation here. But Coach Nestor Lorenzo has, like I said, gone and made the complaint, obviously public. So we'll see if there's some repercussions to Bolivia, who is fighting to be in the middle of the pack, right? They've looked pretty good during these qualifiers. They've had some upsets, because I think, not to disrespect Bolivia's national team, but I feel like any win away is an upset at this point, right? So now are they're not only upsetting away, but they're making sure they secure their 3 points at home at times. So Bolivia comes as one of those dangerous teams that is kind of like growing out of nowhere. How does this impact tomorrow's game, if any, in your opinion, guys? Like, what do you guys think about this?
It doesn't really affect anybody, to be honest. It's like soccer is just based on talent and what team is the best performing team, in honesty. So to me, yes, fine can give you a little advantage of like maybe against Colombia because we have scored mostly on set plays and all that stuff, but I don't think it will affect the game that much, in honesty. In my opinion. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys think differently. I don't
fair
know if
enough.
you guys have a different
Well,
view, but
Well, you're a coach, so I mean, how would you feel if like the other coaches were coming in and like just kind of keeping an eye on the tactics to your, and I know that yours doesn't go as deep as a international team, you know what I mean? But I'm sure that you could still kind of like look at it and be like,
no, of
man,
course it
I
does
wish that would
bother
be.
you, and it's like,
Yeah,
dude, like I'm putting all this effort, and all of a sudden, like this guy is coming in here, watching everything that my players are doing and working hard, and that's how you're analyzing the game. Not even you're getting information so you can analyze the game in a different way, and you can like maybe change your whole tactics of maybe marking this player more or maybe setting five in the back. It does change the way you might view the game, but again, like I told you, like it can be bothersome and it can be annoying, but it's to me it's like it's not gonna make a difference. It's soccer is about talent and like teamwork and who the top dog is. And right now, Bolivia has never been top dog in a way. Yes, they're performing well right now. They have one of the top scorers in CONMEBOL, if I'm correct. I hope I'm correct now, right, Gucci?
we'd have to
And
look it up.
Martins is one of the
yeah,
top scorers
he's doing amazing. But other than that, that's the only reason they're like.
historically. Not right now, he retired, but historically, he's one of the top scorers.
Okay. The fuck Bolivia, bro. I don't even give a damn. Exactly. You see, I don't even know about them. So it's like whatever, dude. Like
I
honestly, it's
agree
like,
Yeah,
with Jose that soccer's about talent.
yeah,
And I do think that this is a little part, like it doesn't have that much impact on how you develop, like how the game might develop. However, one of the biggest things that Bolivia has going for them is the height that they're playing in right now. They're not playing in La Paz. I believe that tomorrow they're going to be
they
playing in
changed
El
it.
Alto, in El Alto.
so even worse.
That thing is, I believe, like 4,000 meters high or some shit like that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's basically there's very little oxygen, so it
yeah,
is important how you prepare your players to deal with that. How do you get them ready for that game? what kind of processes are they making? Are they bringing oxygen tanks, or how are they oxygenating the players? So in preparation wise, if you see how they're preparing, you can counter that. Because if they're not preparing well, like if you see that tactic as a Bolivian manager, you're like, okay, this is the way they're preparing. We might not be able to attack them as much because they're gonna physically respond. So we're gonna have to hang back a little. It changes a little bit of your tactic. Now, whoever's good is gonna win. Whoever plays better is gonna win.
Right.
I completely agree with Jose on that one. But in a place where the height and you have to prepare so well to play for it, I do think it is a little like sleazy to do something like that, especially when the preparation for that game takes such. It's like one of the main things that you need to be able to play. I agree with Jose that it's about talent, but I do think that it does have a bigger effect than it might not normally have if we were playing in anywhere else in the world. For example, if
For
you're
sure.
playing in Brazil,
or even in Colombia,
even in Colombia at sea level. Okay, that's a different story. But like, for example, when we play in Colombia when it's in Barranquilla and it's hot as shit, players still have to prepare for that, and that the coaching has to prepare. They have time, but it's very different. For example, if they prepare, they hydrate their players for the heat in Barranquilla, and you know they prepare well, you can turn off the AC. But that's because you knew. You get me? How sleazy that might be? You're taking everything outside of the game to affect the game, and that's not the way it should be. So I do think that it might not have a big impact, but if it's true, and I do think that there should be some repercussions for that. Exactly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for sure.
I forgot my English.
No, no worries. My thing is that like
try it out.
right. Coach Lorenzo, I think has gotten there a couple of days early to kind of get everybody acclimated to the weather. But I think like it's regardless of that, a lot of these players are coming from Europe. A lot of these players are coming from like, a sea level background, right? And they're going into high altitude. Like, I don't care if you're South American or not. Like, if you've been living in Europe for the past couple of years and playing out there, like this is very hard to acclimate, even if you're there for a week. It takes a lot more than that. UFC fighters that go and train in Mexico, they'll do a whole camp out there just to acclimate, and the whole camp could consist of 3 months, so
there's two ways to fight that, and this is something that like there's two ways to fight that. Either you get there the day of the game, or to be able to get situated to the oxygenation in the air and all that crap, you have to get there 2 days before. I don't know why that is. For some reason, like if you get there the day of, like you still have enough oxygen that your body kind of doesn't realize the change. But those are the two ways to mainly do that to get ready for that game.
Gotcha. And it's weird how that whole thing works, right? Like it's weird how that whole like science part of it works and stuff like that. But I would say Bolivia's entering confident. Other than this scandal, I've been seeing videos. I think you sent a video in one of our group chats about Bolivia being extremely confident and they can take out Colombia.
Not Bolivia. Let's be fair. Not Bolivia.
Okay, fair enough. The commentators, right?
People like you and me that do podcasts, and then they want to talk like massive amounts to get a reaction or something. I don't know, but
right. So, how do you feel about this game, regardless of the spying, regardless of like how Bolivian commentators are talking about this game? Is this game a difficult game for Colombia to play? Like, are they going to come up with the win? Is this going to be a draw? Can we accept a loss here? Like, if it's a 1-0 loss, can we be like, okay, I mean, we played in Bolivia, or is a tie the minimum?
I'll let Jose take this one. No, I honestly think.
Go.
I honestly think that you can play every game to win.
For sure.
However, I think this is one of those games that, if you ask me, we're gonna get a tie. Like this is a game that we're gonna get a tie. The height is something that Colombia is not used to it. We do come with a lot of like players that are missing. Daniel Munoz is not going to be able to be there because due to injury. So there are some players that might not be at their best right now.
So wait, who is it? James, you said?
No, Munoz.
Oh.
Munoz.
Munoz. Right. Yeah, Munoz got hurt. Yeah, he got hurt last week.
So I think Colombia comes with a couple of players that are questionable. The back line, we still don't know if Jerry Mina is 100%, and he was so. The team's still there, but how you face it, and Bolivia is coming in with that high that they know that in this height they can perform. So I think a tie is a realistic look, and we play every game to win. Now, if we lose, I don't think it's a game that's losable. I don't think any game is losable.
Mhm.
But if we lose, we're gonna have to like see how we lose. Because if we
Yeah.
lose because of the height, because it was a goal, like we couldn't. Okay, but if we play bad,
Yeah.
regardless of height or anything, that worries me.
Gotcha. Jose, your thoughts?
I think due to like how Bolivia has been performing, the sports analysts are saying, "Oh, we're gonna win." Again, they have done an amazing job. Just came from a beat freaking Venezuela here, like 4-0. So people are like overhyping them. Again, it's like why? I don't know why. Whatever. It's Venezuela. Like they are a good team when they play against Colombia, but like, other than that, they're not a great team, dude. Like, come on. I understand you guys see that Bolivia might be a threat to Colombia, but Colombia right now is what, second, undefeated. We should be able to take the win like nothing. Again, I understand that they're playing at El Alto and all that stuff, and it's understandable. But again, use your talents correctly.
Yeah.
Lorenzo should come out and analyze the game correctly and be like, wait, what was that friendly that we beat them? What 2-1, 2-1, right?
Yeah, right before the Copa America. No, and I think it was 3-0. Yeah,
3-0. Yeah, you see, I was incorrect, but again, like,
but it was a neutral field.
It was a neutral, yeah, but I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. Dude. Like, our players are gonna. Cooley, I know,
at height. But I agree with you. Talent's talent, and if you play well, you'll win.
Yeah, dude.
And so I think that's the most important thing about this game. If Colombia comes out playing well, and they have been doing it so far, and they have been playing well so far, so I think that we could take them. But I just want to be cautious because every single team that's gone up there, it's like they do badly because they don't think that height will have like for 90 minutes. It will take a
toll
on it. So I do think it's a winnable game. I just don't want to go in there overconfident. You know what I mean? And I don't want to overhype like this match because it's not. It's Bolivia right now. Yeah, they won 2 games, but before that, they were pretty much last.
Yeah.
So
well, that's a good point.
Why are we comparing them to Colombia, dude? Like,
well, it's not about comparing them. It's not about comparing them. It's just kind of like talking about
the predictions are wild.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm not gonna sit there and say that it. A guy saw a prediction 2-2. I was like, I don't see Bolivia scoring 2 goals on Colombia. Maybe one if they can.
Even Juli just clarified it. Like that guy's
right. But there is one thing I do want to point out. Bolivia does have 3 wins. Colombia has 4. So this is a team that has drawn a lot. Colombia has drawn a lot because the comparison in losses is 5 losses from Bolivia and 0 from Colombia. So the Colombian team is known for drawing. They played Peru pretty bad, in Peru. So I do see more of a tie leaning to this game. If this is 4:00 game, it's in high altitude. I could see more of a draw than a win, but I do have Colombia escaping with a win somehow, some way. I should see them winning. If for some reason they don't, then I don't see Bolivia winning. I don't see Bolivia winning this game, but either way, it should be interesting. This is I feel like it's a must win for Bolivia because if you want to make yourself you want to put your name as one of the threats, in the World Cup, then you got to beat a team like Colombia, to kind of sit there and say, so we'll see what Bolivia does tomorrow.
It's a completely different game. Papa. When you're at that height, when you hit the ball, that thing floats and it takes off on you. Like,
obviously, yeah.
Remember the last time we played in La Paz, I believe, when we tied 1-1, when Roger Martinez scored the goal that they scored. It was a fucking banger. And you see against the game against Venezuela, they know how to take advantage of like wherever we're at. It's basically un tiro al arco, even if we're from half field, because that's the way the ball changes in that altitude. It just goes and it takes off on you. So it is a bit of a different game. But I do think that unless something like that happens, Colombia should take at least the tie. At least.
Mm-hmm. At least, yeah, I agree. Any final thoughts before we move on? Yeah. What a monster he has been, in Europe, and my God, shout outs to Duran. Any final thoughts before we move on to the next game?
Bangers. That's the only thing.
Hang out the banger, even in the Champions League, amazing, just amazing.
against one of
But-
the top goalies, bro. That's gonna be our hero right there.
For sure.
I want him to become. Yes,
Let's hope.
I
Let's
want him
hope
to
he's the
do it.
next coming. All right, guys, we got another game here, another key pivotal game. It's number 6 Venezuela versus number 1 Argentina. How do you guys look at this game? This is a game that's being played in Venezuela, I believe.
Yes.
So Venezuela has been one of those teams that have been getting more points than usual. When we want to talk about Bolivia being a last place team, Venezuela is probably second to last to last place, right next to Bolivia usually in World Cup qualifiers. But as of late, they've been pulling some things towards their favor, at least in this current run. Can an upset come along for Venezuela, or is Argentina just too strong, and or is Argentina kind of hung over after so many victories, getting beat by Colombia? What's the outlook in this game?
Argentina's win. Simple. It's a fun.
I don't see. I don't see Venezuela. We're beating them.
What? Like, I just don't understand these predictions, bro. You're talking about the top 2 teams against fucking bottom feeders, and you're gonna tell me
They're not bottom feeders anymore, Jose. They're in the look. If this was the normal qualifiers, Venezuela would be fighting for a repechaje, right? So it's not like they're far off. This is a team that's playing a better campaign. When Ecuador had their amazing campaign 4 years ago, we didn't say, "Oh, they're a bottom feeder."
But they didn't qualify.
They did qualify. Ecuador didn't make the World Cup. Ecuador made the World Cup.
No, they
Yes,
didn't.
they did.
No, they didn't.
What do you mean they didn't? Ecuador made the World Cup, man. They were in
I'm
Qatar.
thinking about 2018 because they
No.
popped off in 2018, winning like the first 5 games, and then
they fell off.
One. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
but
I'm thinking about. My bad.
in 2022, that campaign, they did an amazing campaign as well, and they held on and they got through. I'm not saying that Venezuela, can't fall, but this is a team that is obviously pulling victories or draws.
But look at
Can they pull
Venezuela's
off a
last
draw?
4 games: 2 ties, 1 loss,
Draws.
3 ties, 1 loss. Come on.
But this is my thing with Venezuela. Like last World Cup, we didn't qualify. But that's because the qualifying system was much harder.
Difficult.
Now everybody's going, bro. So I think Venezuela, they have stepped up certain parts of their game. But right now, I mean, unless Argentina just didn't take
They
it
just
easy,
lost 4-0 against Bolivia, bro.
yeah, I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. If we're sitting here and being realistic, I'm not saying Argentina is going to lose, right? But they just lost 4-0 to Bolivia. I mean, this can happen. Not 4-0, but 1-0, a penalty stolen, and Venezuela gets it their way. I mean, we've seen shocks.
But that would be a shock. But what we're expecting. No, we're expecting
Argentina to win.
Argentina to take over, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. Shout out to my Venezuelans, and I hope your country gets a lot better. But
prayers.
All right, prayers. All right, but make sure you put that on your Instagram. But bro, Venezuela has stepped up the game. I don't think it's enough to take out Argentina. I just don't think that. The only way is that they didn't. Which I did find weird that they were training in Miami, like they were training here. The Argentinian team.
They love the field here, bro.
No, it's because Messi's here, bro.
No, and because they have they have some money involved with
I'm sure they do.
So, yeah,
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Maybe ya hay tanto venezolano acá que they think, let's just prepare for Venezuela, but I don't know. It might happen
in Miami.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So I don't know.
So what's your prediction for this game? What do we got? 1-0, 2-0, 2-1,
2-0 Argentina.
I think I was gonna say 2-0, but yeah, they're gonna. Argentina's
I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm gonna get Venezuela steals one and kind of gets one back. But the other game that's at 5:00, so at the same time, is a matchup that is, I think, a little interesting. It's a Paraguay team who is kind of on the outside looking in versus number 4 Ecuador, who right now is in the rankings at the top 4 spot. I think this is a little bit more evened out matchup, even though Paraguay hasn't been like
where do they play?
Coming up with. They play, I believe, in Paraguay, if I'm not mistaken.
In Paraguay.
Yeah. But this is a game that I feel like Paraguay has an opportunity to like steal some points. They haven't been necessarily like the best team, but they haven't been the worst team. They're like, that's why they're probably in the middle of the pack. And Ecuador has been kind of looking a little suspicious a little bit as of lately. They play in Ecuador? Okay,
but
they play in Ecuador.
Ecuador's points aren't really what have they been playing. They've done a lot better. Remember that they started with -3.
Correct. Very good point.
They started with -3. So they should have right now the same points as Uruguay.
No, they have 1 point less. Math is hard, but yes, it is. It is. They would have 14 points. Uruguay would have 15.
Math is hard. Yeah, you're right, bro. My math isn't mathing today. Yeah, but they're right there.
I get it, though. I get it. They're right there. Yeah,
right
absolutely.
there. So, I don't think. And the last game that we played against Colombia, Ecuador looks like, I know that they flop for some reason. Ecuador just can't perform in Copa Americas and World Cups. They do, but they do have a good team.
What is it? What is it though? Why is that? Because I'd be frustrated, right? Like, we get frustrated at our team because they play decent enough to get to like the next round of the World Cup, and then they like blow up against a big team. Ecuador's story is a little different, where it's like they just blow up in the group stage, and it's like, what's going on that you can't get past that?
Look at Colombia in the 90s. Same thing. Good team.
No. They're building a good team.
We can't compare that situation. No. We went to the quarterfinals in 90.
Where?
In 1990.
Quarterfinals. Los octavos. No. Nosotros perdimos en octavos contra.
Okay, round of 16. Okay, my bad. I said quarters. Yeah, round of 16. Yeah. We went to the round of 16s. We got out of the group stage. Ecuador seems to be falling out of the group stage.
What? And we lost. Yeah. They have good teams, but like in Colombia, in Copa Americas, we couldn't perform tampoco.
Mm-hmm.
In 1989, I think we got to like third place in 1999, but we couldn't perform tampoco. They have a good team for some reason that they just can't perform, and I think it's the same thing that Colombia had going for them. Ecuador,
I don't know. I don't agree with you 100%. I don't agree with you because Colombia was getting in the semifinals of Copa Americas in 95 and in like in the America Copa America in 95, I believe it was, or 97. I mean, they weren't doing that bad. They were getting there. Ecuador just doesn't have like a history of like getting close. Like, Copa Americas, I don't remember ever seeing Ecuador in the semifinals.
I think the only time that they went was in 1993 that it was against us.
93?
93, yeah.
Ecuador beat us?
No. They played us.
Oh.
That's the farthest they got. I think we won that game now. But I mean, Ecuador has my point about this soccer game today. This Ecuador team, not soccer game. This Ecuador team today, they're solid. They have a good team.
They're not bad.
And this I think this game is actually going to be one of the most entertaining because the other ones, it's a powerhouse. This one, top versus bottom. This game's actually, and the other one that I want to pay attention to is the Brazil game. I want to see how they play. But in this Ecuador Paraguay, we'll get there. This Ecuador team, they play well, and I like the fact that now they're starting to realize that Ever Valencia, while he's a good player, he's not that guy. He's old. Like his cycle's just pretty much done.
Yeah,
he was an alright player, but he necesitan un 9.
Yeah,
and they have a young player coming up. What's his name? No, it's not Incapié. Who is? Oh, Paez.
Oh, I know who you're talking.
Paez,
yeah, I think it's Paez. Yeah, that kid looks nice. I think I don't know if he got signed by Chelsea or not, or they were.
I'm sure.
Paez.
Chelsea, probably. If Chelsea will buy anything, just bring him over here.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, like he got attention. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm trying to get at. I know Chelsea will buy anything, but I mean he got attention. There you go, Kendry Paez. Yeah. There you go. Who do you go? Who is he with? Does it say?
Yeah, Chelsea wonder kid sent warning by coach. Paez received this team warning by Ecuador national team coach after he caught partying again.
Nice. That's the issue, right? That's the issue.
Why is that an issue? Why is that an issue?
Like the issue of like partying and stuff like that. Could that be the issue? I mean, is like those. I mean, I don't give me the whole talk about these great soccer players that are anomalies that go and drink and do coke and then have a great game on Saturday. Like these players should be kind of keeping themselves in check and keeping themselves like away from that type of stuff to be the top professional that they can be, right?
I mean, yes, but I don't know.
Oh, he's playing for Independiente.
Independiente, ¿qué?
Currently.
Ecuador.
La Serie Segunda Etapa. Yeah, I believe that's Ecuador. Yeah.
Okay.
So
he's
I
part
guess he has
of
to be 18 to then transfer
the
to.
transfer. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So you guys don't see Paraguay making an upset
Wait,
here,
no,
an
no,
upset
actually.
alert. I know it's an even game, but you guys don't see Paraguay doing something here in this game, or is this an Ecuador?
I see it as a tie.
See it as a tie. Okay.
Yeah, they're both strong, like very defensive teams, very strong teams. So yeah,
I'll tell you something. Paraguay likes to like. Paraguay is one of those teams that they get defensive, but they know how to like dañar el partido so much that you get uncomfortable with the game. And if they do that to
Paraguay.
Ecuador, yeah,
Paraguay.
Paraguay,
So
and like they're not dirty, but at the same time, some canzones, bro. Like they just keep going at it, and they like cut up the game. They make the game feel awkward. Like,
Yeah.
bro, just play, and then they don't. And then when they start like putting you in that, like keeping you off
Frustration.
balance, and then it's
they are
fucking-
definitely one of those teams that just definitely throws off the game, will make the game look ugly. They would rather win ugly than than win beautiful, like, you know what I mean, and or lose beautiful. Like they're definitely trying to be one of those teams. But I definitely have Ecuador winning this game because it's in Ecuador, so I have Ecuador, pulling off the victory. I think they'll pull it off, but we have seen some crazy upsets. So let's move over to the big game on Thursday night, which is Chile Brazil. Right, this is the two teams that I will not be watching because the Niners are playing, but this is a very, very good game, and it's a very interesting game because Chile, I feel like, is in one of those positions where they have to win, right? And Brazil looks vulnerable. Brazil has four losses in the last 5 games. This is not the same Brazil that we've seen in World Cup qualifiers ever. Like I do not remember ever seeing Brazil suffer this way. I don't care if they lost 7-1 to Germany. That Brazil team is World Cup champions compared to this Brazil team as of right now, the way they're performing. 3 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses, goal differential of 1. What is going on? And is the black cat that they like mistreated really the reason that Brazil is falling
man,
apart?
that's fucking bullshit.
I mean, you don't believe in these type of things, but
their star
my
players are
God.
not performing well, dude. That's it. Like, come on. Like, you guys just don't have that freaking top talent that you guys used to have. Like, that's it.
Well, okay, fair enough. But these guys are not playing for scrub teams, right? These guys are playing for top teams. So like, what's going on? Because I don't know, man. I'm concerned.
Matching up with the talent. That's what it is.
Mhm.
You guys are not the top dogs anymore. Argentina has been top dogs for many, many years already. Brazil, again, an overhyped team. It's like just because of like the freaking dollar
History.
signs.
Yeah.
No, dollar signs, because all these players is like
The players
freaking
that go,
insanely expensive. And again, yes, you guys have the top like 3 forwards. Not even the top, they're not even the top forwards anymore. Anymore, like they're just considered top forwards because they're Brazilian. They're again, like it's just because of the price that they have on their heads. Again, these players are not average. Let me not say average because they do play for big teams. They do play amazing, but they don't have that individual talent that they used to have before, man. Like there's not that Neymar again. But we all Julia and I Julia I don't know, but Neymar, we hated Neymar, but individual amazing talent. Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Juli's freaking one of Juli's idols. Like, come on, guys. Like, even Cafu, bro, Cafu, Vida, the goalie, dude, they have amazing individual talents. Now they don't. They don't have that individual talent.
I think they have the talent. I think they have good talent. I think Vinny and Rodrigo. These are players that are actually really, really good.
But they need a good foundation to perform.
They're above average players.
Yeah,
my biggest problem with Brazil right now, and I think we talked about this, Alex, is that the players think that they're the most important part of the equation. There's no structure in Brazil. It's Vinny, you're the top dog around here, or whoever. I don't know who the little clique is that runs it, but bro, like when the coach doesn't handle his team and they don't let him handle his team because the players are taking over, that's a sign of the
huge problem.
And they don't
Huge
have
problem.
freaking defenders either. Dude. They don't have the defenders that they used to have.
Militao in El Real Madrid, they have good players.
Yeah,
Now,
but
he's
Militao's
not
not
Lucio.
a starter right now. Yeah, exactly.
He's not Lucio. Like one thing that we gotta do, we gotta appreciate the past, but we gotta look at the players how they are right now. They have talent. They have a talent to win. Where they're at right now, Brazil, they should be a lot better. The
But
problem
they're
is
not
there's
performing
no
for their
structure.
international teams.
Is the captain missing? Is it just the captain to me? I mean, before
That's
for
very
a long
important.
time,
That is very important, though.
right?
Not-
And
You
I
said
just,
no right now, but it is very important to
but
have a
it's
captain, somebody,
missing.
a leader. Like, hey, I'm stepping up and I'm telling you guys, you need to fucking grab your balls and start playing better. But they
Yeah,
don't
because
have that right
Thiago's
now.
not there. Thiago Silva's not there anymore. You know what I mean? And like it seems like they're missing that pivotal role. And I don't know if
They have
Neymar is necessarily
Ederson.
that.
Ederson can do it, but he's not. He's not a very vocal
Yeah,
player
but
or
how are you
making.
gonna listen to your captain when you don't even listen to your coach?
Exactly.
When the players are giving the talk before penalty sessions, what the fuck is that? I mean,
For sure.
that's the main problem with Brazil right now. Brazil has talent, maybe not what it used to, but bro, they do have talent. But
Yeah.
but the problem is there's no structure. Los directivos says no. Marketing, or I don't know if that's the like dollar signs or whatever the hell you want to call it, but there has to be a structure in your institution, which is la selección brasileña. And they don't have it right now. One of the main reasons why all those talents, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, even though they were the top dogs, they listened to their coaches. Scolari was there. One of the main reasons Rodrigo and Vini are popped off in Real Madrid is because they listen to Ancelotti. There's a structure there.
Yeah.
Whether players are a big part of one of the most important instruments of this game, but so are coaches, so are directors. And if you don't have, and if everything's going awry, and that's one of the main reasons why Argentina, for a long time before this happened, was a shit show. Even with Messi, we talk about Argentina a lot right now, but before this before La Copa America, Argentina was like, we're in shambles. Yeah, we went to the finals, but we're not winning. We're not playing well. They treated Messi like shit, and I think that's what's happening with this Brazil team. Yes, they don't have the talent, but at the same time, there's no structure in their institution. So to me, that's the biggest problem.
Now this game is in Chile, and we talk about a team that's in shambles. Chile is also in shambles. I mean, they haven't been able to produce. Chile has only been able to produce one win. They've got 4 losses of the last 5, but also have 1 draw in there. So this is a matchup where I feel like Brazil can at least get the 3 points. Right, they should be able to get the 3 points. Chile's just physical at this point. They're just committing as many fouls as possible and hoping that they can just come up with the draw.
The worst part is that they have moments where they play really well.
Yeah, I feel like that's in the first 20 minutes.
Like I feel like Gareca has it going. Like is starting to figure out certain things, and then those 20 minutes are over. Bullshit. I mean,
they fall apart.
So I think this is one of the most interesting games for this FIFA day, if you want to call it, or Fecha FIFA. Yeah. I think this is going to be the more interesting because both teams they're desperate to win, but more than they need the 3 points. They need to show something. They need to show something interesting because they haven't shown it yet.
Yeah. Who do you guys got winning this game?
I got a tie this game.
Just because you looked at the graph over there?
No, 1-1.
I'm going to tell you something.
I don't really see these teams performing well.
I wanna be honest with you. I think Chile is gonna upset. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think the Brazil right now. I think Brazil right now is in such disarray that even the star players, which is Vinny,
Chile just come from losing 2 games or something like that, and one was against Bolivia.
Yeah. There's something that tells me that they're gonna win their first game.
Oh, look at that! Chile 1-2.
Wow. All right. We'll see what happens. I think Brazil wins the game.
Paraguay. Okay. Damn. Yeah. They're both in shambles.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's not good. We'll move on to the final game. Peru, Uruguay. They play on Friday. Not much I can say about my Peruvians, man. I mean, they got.
You want to talk about shambles? That's shambles.
Yeah, that's shambles. Yeah, for sure. I think that they relied way too much on their like little small silver generation, I want to say, because they're not really golden generation. Silver generation that got through to the World Cup in 2018. I think when Gareca was there, had them going, but then there was really no foundation for the youth, for like younger players to come up. Clearly, the Peruvian Federation is all about making money. They could care less about their development. It's unfortunate, but Peru is the worst team right now in the standings. And they are the worst team.
Not
By
one
far. They
game
have
won.
one game won, 3 draws, 5 losses. They're playing Uruguay, who's also having like some trouble. I don't know if you've been hearing about Bielsa and like him being a fucking weird,
okay, let's
crazy
talk
bastard.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but let's talk
but we
about
know
that.
this.
Fucking Suarez is a crybaby too. Like,
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying
love
he
how
isn't.
Suarez. I love how Suarez waited until he was retired to talk shit.
yeah.
I mean,
So
what
now
is
I'm
he
going to talk
supposed to do?
shit.
What is he supposed to do?
If
Stay while
you
there?
don't like something, say it up front. Don't wait until
He
okay.
might
Now
have.
that I'm, he didn't though. What do you mean he might have? He didn't do it.
I'm not going to defend Suarez because I can't stand the dude, and I wish him the worst in his retirement.
And Bielsa is called El Loco Bielsa, bro. That guy, like, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's crazy because he has a mythology to whatever the hell he does. And people sometimes don't like that. But that's one of the things that Uruguay really liked about Bielsa, that he's a man of processes. Like all right, we're gonna bring young people because we're right now in a generational change. We're gonna do a bunch of stuff that might not like that the veterans of the game might not like, but I have to do it because you're not gonna be around here long enough, and we have to look at the future. So I think if they think, because I did hear that they wanted to they're thinking about firing Bielsa, or Bielsa's not very happy there. I think that's going to be the worst mistake. I think they got a really good coach in Bielsa, so I think it's a chicken shit move by Luis Suarez to wait until he's retired to talk shit and be like, no, that guy is not for Uruguay, whatever the hell he said. I didn't really pay attention to him because I knew it was going to be some bullshit.
Yeah. I think for Peru, I think the issue is that we're just gonna have to suck it up this qualifier and just lose. But I think that we should. The idea is to bring younger talent, which is not much talent, but just bring younger kids and just give them a shot. Give them a shot to see what they got. Give them the opportunity to develop. Maybe put 1 or 2 veterans in there. Like I think the goalkeeper is awesome there, but that's another issue, right? We talked about that with Ospina when it came to Colombia. Like who do you have developing under him? You know what I mean? If anything, Galese can only do so much, man. I mean, Galese to me seems like one of those goalies that just plays for the worst team possible, and like nobody's defending, and he still holds them down to like 1 goal a game or 2 goals a game, but he's like help me please, like somebody help me, and the poor guy doesn't deserve it. He's an amazing goalkeeper. I don't know why he's still playing in Orlando. I don't know why like teams haven't been able to like go out there and say come play in Europe, even if it's for a lower Spain team or a lower English team. Like I don't get it, but I digress. I think Peru's team is just horrible. They have no forwards. They have no creativity. My God, the shots they take. I mean, it looks like a Friday night. For us, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. I can't say enough.
Whoa! I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna stop it right there.
You haven't been there. You haven't been there.
I went there. No.
Yeah, well, last week, but before that, you haven't been there.
You respect the Friday games, all right? La recocha de los, you put some respect on that.
Yeah, right? I mean, if the goal was maybe the size of the goals that they play in the world, in international soccer, maybe it would be a lot more goals. But currently, the way some of these people are shooting is like they're trying out for the NFL, kicking field goals. But again, I digress. There's not enough.
I think Peru right now is having a problem where they're not generating much talent, and I think that's a problem in South America in and of it all. One of the really good things that I think Klopp, I don't know if you guys heard this, but Klopp, like, he signed a deal with Red Bull, I believe, where he's gonna be like, that Red Bull owns a bunch of teams in different leagues, right? So he's gonna be like basically like the coach of those coaches, basically. Like it's gonna be like a GM type deal.
That's cool.
So yeah, so he's gonna advise on philosophies, coaching, how to develop talent, what players to look at. You got me, like that way that those new teams like have a structure to them that they can develop more and more teams. So I think Europe is doing it better, developing younger talent, and that's why you see more talent there.
Yeah,
but I think there's actually more natural talent in South America that we're just not exploding because we don't do things like this, dude.
Jose's laughing. What's up?
Yeah,
What's up,
because
Jose?
Germany explodes Klopp as fake as his teeth.
Jesus Christ. You know, Germany. You want to talk about a team in disarray, man? Just don't look any further than Germany.
And I think he did sign a clause where he can still be working for them, but he can also direct the national team whenever it's offered to him, which I don't think he's gonna do right now because
Damn, those teeth do look pretty good.
what's that called when they do that shit when they file down your teeth?
Oh
Veneers.
God,
Veneers,
what it's called?
veneers or denture. I thought they were dentures.
I don't
Same
know.
shit.
No, dentures. Yeah, it was similar shit. I just I don't know. I don't
God,
know how white
you know what?
people would
Just
do
brush
that.
your teeth, guys.
Brush
That
your teeth, take care
ridiculous.
of them.
At least
Yeah, it
only
looks
brush
dumb.
his teeth once a fucking day.
No, actually, you know what's funny about that? I was thinking about that the other day. I was realizing, I was like, I actually do brush more than once. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I
Paige, you
brush.
changing it up now.
No. I didn't. I
Cochino.
thought it was once. I was thinking once, but then the other day,
Your
like,
mom
when
saw the
was it?
podcast and like, se van a lavar los dientes.
Yeah, right. A
Deje de
lavarse
ser
los
cochino.
dientes
Cochino
antes
de
de
mierda.
acostarse. No. I think it was because like I had like I don't know what I ate or something. And I remember just thinking to myself, oh no, it was before I left. That's what it was. I was gonna go out. I brushed my teeth in the morning, and then I brushed my teeth before I left the house. And I was like, oh, I do brush more than once. Maybe I'm just thinking once, but whatever. That was like a realization that I had to myself. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. Ain't no girl ever tell me I had bad breath. So thank God for that. So
A lot of
I'm not
liars
missing
out there,
anything.
huh?
I have all my teeth, and people say I have a great smile, and fuck you guys. So yeah, suck a dick on that one. So yeah, so I have Uruguay winning this game. I don't see Peru coming out, even if it's in Lima. I would be shocked if they were to win. So, one of my friends has it a 1-1, and I told him, I don't even know how you have Peru scoring a goal. Like I don't even see how that happens. But I've seen crazier things. Yeah.
I see Uruguay taking this one. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't see unless like this Bielsa kind of feud that's going on actually like takes them out of their concentration. But I don't see it.
I don't think that fucking matters.
Yeah.
Luis Suarez already out of it.
Yeah.
Bielsa just wiped it down his balls. Like he doesn't care, bro. Like he's like suck my nuts and just go stay in Miami, bro. Like I don't care what you say. Like why does it matter now? You were benched when you were in La Selección. Like come on.
Yeah.
Why
A
coming
bit
out
fast.
now and be like
I'm sure that's what pissed him off.
Yeah, but again, he's old as shit. What the hell is he expecting?
He has no knees.
Exactly.
He has no
Even
knees,
though
bro.
Darwin Núñez is fucking ass, but still, like he has freaking better speed than freaking Luis Suarez.
Oh yeah.
My God.
I think
He
that
gave
was
us a
one
heart
of
attack. He gave us a heart attack. Let's be honest. From Colombia,
Yeah.
that guy was hitting posts left and right.
God,
Sharpshooter to the post.
bro.
All right, so we went deep into these qualifiers. There is another round of qualifying games. Very very quickly, other than tomorrow and stuff like that, the other matches that are going to be played on Tuesday, we'll probably talk about it, and we'll kind of like go into a little bit more on Wednesday what happened during those games. But Colombia plays Chile, Paraguay will play Venezuela, Uruguay plays Ecuador, Argentina plays Bolivia, and Brazil goes up against Peru. So it's not only an execution for Peru these next two games, but my God, you put them against two teams who are historically just names of South America. But yeah, we'll like I said, we'll kind of digest those games next Wednesday as we come on the podcast if we survive the hurricane. I wanted to bring up a topic we talked about. Juli, you had to see the documentary that we kind of recommended over to you.
Yes.
Jose is representing the WrestleMania shirt. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the documentary on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I would say if you're not a wrestling fan, go ahead and check it out. It's a pretty fun little documentary. I love how Jose has the wrestling ring.
Jose's having his fun with the backgrounds.
I wish I could do the Austin right now.
Yeah, the two beers clashing. That would be amazing.
But Nicole will kill me.
You'd probably have to clean it up.
You're gonna clean up that. You're gonna clean it up right now.
She's gonna come out and freaking give me. I don't even know
a tombstone.
I don't even know 369. I don't even know which one, bro. I'll be.
Jose, can you give us a little background about exactly what this documentary is about?
So the documentary is the uprise of McMahon. how he became somebody so big, so huge in the wrestling industry. How the sorry, Alex, you can correct me. WWF became the WWE, and
Correct.
how he took the company from his dad and made it such a huge thing, competed against multiple other wrestling companies and came out on top. But there's also some, drama that he had involved, steroid use. He had sexual assault,
Misconduct,
misconduct. He had
trafficking.
trafficking. What was it? The other thing. With Hulk Hogan and the steroids and all the problems. So yeah, it's very interesting due to because it has so much into it. It's not just about wrestling. It also brings back stuff that happened outside of wrestling, and also speaks. It shows his character and how insane of a man he is, how focused, how and for me, he's very talented in business because to bring that wrestling, hey, wrestling, we enjoy it, but in reality, it's kind of back in the day how it showed it was kind of boring, but this man made it into what it is now, and
Yeah,
we
wrestling
should
was a circus show essentially. It was kind
exactly.
of one of those things that you would do just to kind of be like, oh, let's go for fun and watch. And people believed it was real back in the day, right? And like in the 20s and the 30s when it first became popular. So McMahon made it, like a lot more entertaining, kind of put like the storylines behind it. I believe South Park made fun of it, in one of the episodes, and which I thought was great. I thought it was hysterical. But yeah, this documentary for the common wrestling fan, I just want to let you know, if you're a wrestling fan and you haven't seen it, I don't know any wrestling fan that has not seen it. It wasn't surprising. We already knew the background story. I felt like I was watching a documentary that I've seen like plenty of times, right? It's kind of like seeing a brand new Biggie and Tupac documentary. It's like, what else can you tell me? Because I already know everything. I already know that Biggie was this and Pac was that in the East and West. Like, what else can you tell me? Because I already know the story. And that's kind of like how I came into this. I was hoping for more juice. I was hoping for like more like about the controversies that kind of led to McMahon's departure from the World Wrestling Entertainment in 2024, early 2024. But instead it kind of just did like circles. And I know that, before the documentary came out, Vince and his team was trying to get Netflix to take it down and not put it up at all. But it didn't succeed.
Due to
And
the sexual accusations.
yeah, but my thing is that I just felt like it wasn't anything we didn't hear. Like it's not anything that we can't read on the New
Nothing
York
new.
Times. Yeah, it was
Like
nothing new.
I did think that they were gonna focus since they started in the
Yeah.
first episode with how he left and all that stuff. I thought they were gonna go more into it, and the way that I thought they were setting it up was more. You go, okay, this is what happened now, and then look at the patterns throughout the years. What happened? They kind of did that where they showed like sexual abuse and how he let it settle, but they didn't go into it. They didn't explain it. They didn't give like I feel like it was just kind of like, yeah, this happened, and then they kept going with it, and
Yeah.
with stuff that we already heard about.
Right. Absolutely. And again, if you've been a wrestling fan for many years, I mean, I don't know if you guys seen the documentary Wrestling with Shadows. So Wrestling with Shadows was a documentary that came out in like 97 before documentaries was a big thing. It came out for Bret Hart. Bret Hart was going to make this documentary about like his life as a wrestler. It had nothing to do with anything that happened. And obviously, when you get to the chapter of the Montreal screw job, you see what ends up happening. So that company got permission from Vince McMahon to film Bret Hart's like career, and then the Montreal screw job happened. So a lot of the footage that you saw was based on that documentary. And it's an amazing documentary because they end up catching basically the whole situation from the back scene. So like I know that at that episode they talk about it. They didn't dive in because again, if you're a wrestling fan, you've been told the Montreal screw job so many times that it's like, what else can you tell me? What other piece of information can you tell me? At this point, nothing can surprise us unless someone was to tell us it was a work and it was made up. But I digress about that. A lot of the issues though is like about the sex thing, and I think that we missed the point of that. I feel like I don't know.
Well, yeah, I thought that they were gonna like talk about more, not maybe like do an expose of what he did, but like, okay, this is what this behavior that happened before. I thought they were gonna go more into it, which they kind of graced over. But one thing that I did find interesting, which Jose said, he is a talented man, but to do something which he did well, because I think WWE or WWF, to make it that big, you do have to have certain kind of talent, but there also has to be something kind of wrong with you. And one of the things that I did see when they interview Vince McMahon is the way that he thinks about, like, he always talks about the business and business this, and I do everything for business and I don't do anything personal. It's very convenient how he sometimes it's business and sometimes it's personal, whether it benefits me. And like that's one thing that I found interesting about the documentary is that you see that the character Vince McMahon, he says that they're nothing alike, but all those
they're
things
very alike.
They're very alike, and the way he thinks, and I don't know, like the way he expresses himself, you kind of know that there's something off about this dude. I don't know if you guys think the same.
Oh, he's
way.
a psycho. He's a psycho.
Yeah, he thinks he's a
off
god
about this dude, and even when there's something off with you, you can make a shitload of money because WWE is one of the most entertaining things that you could ever watch. I'm not a big fan. I don't know much about but when I do watch, I'm like, yeah, this is entertaining as hell. So watching that guy when they interview him, you could tell like, yo, this guy is not living in this reality. Things happen to him. Nothing's ever his fault. But when it's a success, it's all because of me.
It's his story. It's nobody else's.
I feel like the documentary was more like also a story within a wrestling show. I don't know if I'm making.
Yeah, for sure.
They were hyping Vince McMahon whenever they could, but what I was like, is this like reality? Did that really happen the way they're saying, or is this just another hype job? Just put it that way. When they were talking about.
Yeah, so a lot of the things, for example, like they always say that, you know, if you can combine reality with the storylines of wrestling, then that's the best, like that's the most like entertaining thing that you can possibly get, right? So when you blur the lines of reality, which is the reason why the Bret Shawn Michaels, you know, Montreal Screwjob was so big, because I remember watching that live, like as a kid on TV, and thinking to myself, what the fuck just happened? Like I don't understand what just happened, and I was so lost. I remember going, like being in bed, like I don't get it. I don't understand what they just did, because it was something that you never seen before. Or the Owen Hart dying, you know what I mean? Like when Owen Hart passed away and he fell from, you know, I remember watching that event, and I remember thinking again, same thing. What just happened? Like, what do you mean he died? Like, it didn't hit until Monday. I remember Monday when they did the show to like dedicate the show to him, and like everybody was like, literally, you're watching grown men, right? You have to remember like the setup, right? If you're a kid and you watch these grown men who are like tough and they're bleeding and they're hurt but they still fight, they're literally crying on TV, telling you like, I'm gonna miss this guy. And like you start as a kid, you start crying because you're like, oh my god, he's really dead. Like reality is really setting in. So when like those like lines end up happening and like those things end up happening, I don't know, I just felt like Vince doesn't give a fuck. Like it's all about the show, because when Owen Hart died, it was about that was the show.
It's always about the show, but when does the show take over your reality?
Of course,
in the interview, you could tell that he's setting up a goddamn like a wrestling show.
Yeah,
you got me. Like, you're not telling me if it's a documentary. Talk to me about the reality, but it wasn't. It was all about more show, more. So he blurs the line with reality and fantasy, but that's for a show. That's for the theater of it. You want to blur those lines, but not for your reality. And you could tell that he does that with his reality. He wants to blur those lines whenever it's comfortable for him. Like, that's what I found. Like, all right, I found it interesting but disturbing at the same time.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. The funny thing about it is also Vince will say something along the lines, and I've heard him say it in the past. Oh, well, this wrestler, like, he doesn't know who he really is anymore because he's done that character for so long that he doesn't let go of that. But in reality, during this documentary, I thought to myself, you're very hypocritical, bro, because you have not let go of your persona. Yeah. So it's like it's very like scary, right? This is a very scary thing. And for the most part, like a part of me still respects him. Like a part of me is like, Jesus, what an amazing guy. I want to say in 2021 to 2022, like even maybe before that, like I was already kind of like, this guy needs to leave because he's like, it's past him. Like his ideas are stale, his ideas are stupid, like they were just corny. Like there was times that I would be at a wrestling show and I was like, oh my god, this is really corny. And I can see why someone else would be like, you still watch this, you know? So I felt like it was his time, and I'm glad he's gone because the product has been so much better and has been so much what the fans really want. Fans that like Jose that told me I only watched it from the Attitude Era. Fans like that who grew up into that, because before the Attitude Era, it was all characters. And I remember growing up with the characters. I have Halloween pictures of me dressed up as some of these characters. It was a fantasy world, right? And it seemed like it went fantasy to attitude reality to back to PG and like little kid shows. And I'm just so glad that
Crazy
he's
how
gone
the
because he
change it
obviously
was.
hurt. Yeah, and he hurt a lot of people, man. Like this guy hurt a lot of people. There's a lot of wrestlers that talk about how Vince has literally just gave two shits about their health, giving two shits about like how they're doing, and then there's some that will tell
See,
you, "Hey man, he's like Bruce Pritchard when he said, my wife had cancer, he got her the best treatment." So there's like good and bad. There's good and bad with him.
but
He knew how
that's
to
the
play
thing.
his cards.
Huh?
He knew how
Sorry,
to play his cards. He knew where to
Be bad where to be
conveniente,
good.
dude. He was
step in the
convenient when.
shadows and then step in the crowd. Step in front of the crowd. He knows how to manipulate like the stories and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Very very smart man, to be honest. In my opinion.
I think he's smart. I just think he's crazy. Like
Oh yeah.
he could be two things at once. I mean, and I think he is a very talented man,
Mhm.
but at the same time, that guy's a nut job.
So let me ask you these last couple of questions before we end this topic. But the Owen Hart death, would you have had the show continue?
No.
No,
Okay, no.
no,
Gotcha. Are you okay with his excuse?
no.
No.
Bullshit.
Okay.
It's convenient for him. Not we didn't really see it, and then of course when it doesn't happen to you, one thing that Brett said that was kind of smart. If it was your kid that did that, you wouldn't want it to keep going. And then he completely changed the conversation. He goes, if it happens to me, I would let the show go on. Like, please continue the show. It's easy to say that when it's not you though. When there's blood of the guy that just died doing your show. I mean, the least you could do is like, guys, you know what? We're gonna postpone it. It's gonna be at least delay it. But no.
Yeah, the show must continue. I mean, and it's hard when you have a pay-per-view on Sunday and then Monday you have Monday Night Raw. So it's hard to reschedule, right? That scenario.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse.
I'm not saying that it's right. It's not an
Okay.
excuse. I'm just saying it's very difficult to do that, but you're right. Maybe it should be like hey guys, like, we're pausing or we're going to continue. We're going to do the show on Monday instead of Sunday. Like we're going to just like our Monday Night Raw is going to be the pay-per-view now because of this tragedy, whatever the case may be. But I do agree the show should have been stopped. I mean, I remember like literally bawling my eyes out that next Monday, just watching like these grown men cry about the death of Owen Hart, which is a very scary thing. If you want to see more about that, there's also a show called The Dark Side of the Ring where it dissects that situation, and it's a very sad thing because it could have been prevented. And I remember that there's one scene where the mom and the son go to exactly where he like comes down, like so they're on top, and to see the distance, like I remember just looking at it on the TV and I remember thinking, oh my god, like I don't even know if I could just even if I'm thinking I'm safe, I don't know if I can go down it just looks so scary. And to think if you fell that distance and that was the last thing that you can think about and actually the crazy thing is the referee tells a story where he says that when he's fallen, he tells the ref to get out the way because he knew that if he fell on top of the ref, he would have killed the ref too. That speaks character to who Owen Hart is. So I mean that is a very sad thing.
Yeah, and like stuff like that they just kind of like rush through it in the documentary. Like the health of the wrestlers, they didn't really go into
it. And
it's a big part of like all the things that make Vince McMahon. Like that's part of what he is. And there's actually a really good piece that John Oliver did on wrestling, on the health and
I have seen that. Yeah,
and it's really good. I was expecting something more along those lines, where it actually shows, okay, this is what happened. What do you think about this, Vince? No, to just let them tell their story. And when you let people tell their story, it's just storytelling. It's not anything real. At least that's what I thought.
Agreed. Jose, any final thoughts on McMahon? And
no, that's about it. I just thought it was interesting and kind of lighten up. Like it brought up some old stories that kind of were entertaining back in the day. So it brought back to me like what I told you, like the Attitude Era, what I grew up watching. So it was nice to watch.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you guys, again, if you want to see a little bit more about that, there's plenty of documentaries that will dive into each section of that documentary. There's other things that will tell you more in depth about what happened in between, even the Chris Benoit killings, which was another tragic situation. But yeah, man, there's a lot of wrestlers that I grew up watching that are no longer alive, and they didn't die at their 70s. They died in their 40s and their 30s, and I can think back like, my God, this wrestler would be 50 something today if he was still around, but very sad thing. And it's all about the steroids and all that stuff and all that abuse. What do you guys think? We should go into the topic, or should we just hold it off for the next?
Save for the next one, because that's the long topic.
That one we can definitely dive into, because I do have some thoughts.
All right,
and I know Jose's not gonna like them, so I want to be able to take my time and make sure Jose understands why he's wrong.
So give me the juices to call to this segment. We talk about Vince McMahon and his steroid issues with the wrestlers and people dying. Steroid use. My God, I mean, every sport frowns upon it. But is it better for the game? Is it more exciting for the game? And we're not taking it. You know what I mean? Or is this truly something that we don't want to see our favorite athletes in their 60s or 50s or 40s, like in my case, dying because they're getting heart attacks and whatnot? This is a drug that you're supposed to use when you're in your 60s, right? I mean, this is a drug that's supposed to keep things together, not necessarily abuse it in your 20s and 30s. You know what I mean? So what's your insight on this, guys? What do you guys think about this?
Are we gonna do it today or save it?
We're gonna save it because I do have a lot.
Oh, we want to save it.
Let's save it.
We'll save it.
Because
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
We're gonna meet it.
Yeah, we're gonna say so. We're gonna use it for the next topic. We're gonna save that. We're gonna dive into that. So that's gonna be for next episode. We'll talk about that. Give me the juice will be called the segment. We'll get into the whole steroid talk. We'll come up with some interesting topics and talks about that, and we'll see. And obviously, like,
and if they're not interesting, we're still gonna talk about them because that's what we're
gonna talk about it. Because that's what we do.
Right?
You just grab a drink and talk about it.
Exactly.
Awesome, guys. Any final thoughts before we head out?
No. I said everything I have to say.
If you gotta swim, you gotta swim.
Stay safe, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how to swim. No, I'm just kidding. I do know how to swim.
You can float, Alex. You can float.
You look very buoyant. All right, bro. Don't sell yourself short. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We'll see you next week.